All right, let's dive into a story that's part mystery, part life lesson, and all wrapped up in a pretty charming tale. Go ahead and get your detective hats ready for The Case of the Laughing Shadow. Most mysteries are all about finding the culprit, right? But this one starts by asking us a totally different question. It wants us to look past the what and really dig into the why, right into the heart of a community. So, let's keep that question in our back pocket as we get into the story.
So, first things first, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off in this wonderfully quirky town called Chandrapur, where a series of pretty strange events is about to shake up a very particular, very quiet way of life.
Now, you gotta understand, Chandrapur wasn't your average town. It kind of ran on its own, unique, slightly broken rhythm. The bread was always a little burnt, the school bell was fashionably late, and the town clock, well, it was permanently stuck in the past. But here's the thing. Nobody really cared. It was a town that was perfectly comfortable in its own charming little chaos.
But that predictable, peaceful vibe was about to be broken. It all started with a sound, just drifting through the streets at night. Not a happy laugh, It was this mysterious, kind of unsettling echo that just seemed to whisper that something was wrong.
And this is where things get really weird. Wherever that laughter was heard, things started to disappear. But the stolen items were just odd. A watchman's whistle? A baker's rolling tin? A tailor's measuring tape? See, this wasn't a thief who was after money or jewels. No, they were taking the tools people needed to do their jobs. The really crucial point here is that the thief wasn't stealing wealth. They were stealing people's ability to function.
So, with the entire town in a state of confusion, we finally get to meet our detective in training. Because every great mystery needs a great detective, right? And Chandrapur's hero happens to be a 10-year-old boy named Bola, who has a huge imagination and an even bigger belief in himself. So let me introduce you to Bola. He's armed with his top-secret notebook, a cracked magnifying glass, and an absolute, unshakable confidence that, well, far outweighs his actual track record. He's the self-proclaimed greatest detective in the entire universe, and this mystery, this is his big break. Of course, no detective works alone. Bola's team includes Meena, his sharp, practical friend who keeps him grounded with a healthy dose of reality, and then there's Chintu, whose wild imagination immediately jumps to the most terrifying conclusions. Honestly, they're the perfect mix of logic, fear, and Bola's non-stop enthusiasm. So while the town is going crazy, with theories flying around from ghosts to aliens, Bola does what a real detective does. He watches, he listens, and he starts to see a pattern that absolutely no one else has noticed. And this is the moment where it all just clicks into place for him. Bola realizes these thefts aren't random at all. Each and every victim had recently done something unkind. The baker who yelled at his customers, he lost his rolling pin. The watchman who screamed at kids for playing, he lost his whistle. The pattern wasn't about the items, it was about the people they were taken from. And that leads Bola to his big, groundbreaking hypothesis. This isn't just some thief motivated by greed. No, this is someone with a purpose, someone who's trying to send a message to the whole town. The Laughing Shadow isn't a criminal, it's a teacher. Okay, so with this new theory burning in his mind, Bola knows he can't just solve the case, he needs to understand it. And the only way to do that is to catch the shadow in the act. So, it's time to set a trap. The plan they cook up is actually pretty clever. They decide to use a little bit of misinformation as bait, inventing this story about a super valuable golden pen that belongs to the mayor. Now, since they already figured out the thief isn't interested in valuable stuff, this is the perfect way to test their theory. Once the rumor's out there, all they have to do is lie in wait. So, as night falls, the three friends are hiding, hearts just pounding. The rumor has spread like wildfire. The whole town is buzzing about this pen. And now, all they can do is wait and see if their mysterious teacher will take the bait. And then the shadow appears. But when the kids finally reveal the culprit, it's not a monster or a ghost. It's Raghu Uncle, the town's quiet, unassuming electrician. And his confession is just heartbreaking. He says he wasn't laughing out of meanness. He was laughing to keep from crying over all the unkindness he saw creeping into the town that he loved so much. That reveal just changes everything. The mystery is solved, sure, but the real story is only just beginning. The focus shifts completely from punishment to understanding, and the town is finally forced to take a good long look at itself.
And in this moment, Bola, our 10-year-old detective, shows this wisdom way beyond his years. He sees right past the crime and straight to the intent. He validates Raghu Uncle's painful lesson and offers him empathy instead of an accusation.
Raghu Uncle's methods, yeah, they were a little weird. But you can't argue with the results. The baker, the tailor, the watchman, they all started to change their ways. The town began to heal, not because of force, but because of reflection. And the laughter? It just disappeared. Why? Because its job was done. Kindness was back.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, the story leaves us with a few really powerful ideas. It kind of suggests that empathy can be a way more effective tool than punishment, that taking a moment to just listen is a sign of true wisdom, and that sometimes a strange approach can teach a lesson that anger never ever could.
But wait, the story isn't quite over. Just when life seems to be getting back to a new, better kind of normal for Chandrapur, our young detective finds a small, anonymous message waiting for him.
And the note is this perfect acknowledgement from someone, maybe Raghu Uncle himself, who recognizes Bola's unique gift. It's a little reminder that his ability to see patterns where other people just see chaos, to find meaning where others see mischief, that's a rare and really valuable skill.
And that kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? In our own communities, in our own lives, who are the people seeing what the rest of us miss? And maybe more importantly, are we paying attention when they try to show us? Thanks for following along with this story.